Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Long time no see, but I am so happy to be here today with an absolutely massive book haul, as you can see by these stacks of books behind me here. I have a ton of new books on my shelf to show you guys, but I guess I should preface this with the fact that it's a very cumulative book haul. So I went book shopping like in June. I went a couple times over the summer, a couple of Amazon orders here and there, and then my 25th birthday was at the end of August as well. So a handful of these were also birthday gifts. Since I have been holding on to this haul for a couple of months, some of the books I have read already, so if I have any like initial spoiler-free thoughts on these books, I will definitely let you know. The majority of these books I haven't even read yet, so they're just on my TBR and on my shelf waiting to be read. Let's go ahead and jump on into this book haul because I am so excited to share all these books with you guys. In no particular order, the first book that I have to show you guys here in my haul is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This is one of the ones that I have read already, and I honestly did not like this book. I have heard so many good things about Lucy Foley. I know she has a couple of these like thriller type books, but this one I just did not like. I will say kind of like the twist or the big reveal was extremely shocking to me. I didn't see that coming, but that was probably like the only good part about this book. I didn't like how it was written. I believe Lucy Foley is English from the UK, I want to say, and the actors are meant to have the accent and they use different words and terms and verbiage and stuff like that, but there was just something about the writing that 100% wasn't resonating with me. It overall wasn't the worst book I ever read. I did give it 2 stars. The last like 15 to 20% of this book was the best, like I said, with the twist, and that's when things really picked up, but the first like 70-75% of this book is just so slow. I wouldn't recommend like jumping right into this one. It's not a must read, I guess you could say. A book that is a must read for me though, that I also picked up recently over the summer, is Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica, I believe is how you say it. If you guys have not read this yet and you love psychological thrillers, kind of like a whodunit, on the edge of your seat kind of vibe that seriously just leaves you guessing, I absolutely love this book. I did not see the twist or the big reveal coming at all. This book seriously gripped me from start to finish, and it was just so amazing. I think this was, let me see when I read this, it was part of the book club that I'm in. It was our June book, and it was seriously a 5-star read for me. I read it in less than a week, which for me is pretty fast. I tend to average like a week to 2 weeks on a book. I'm not like a super like fast reader. Like I will never be that person that reads like a book in a day or a book in like 2 days. I flew through this in 5-6 days, and it was just so good. Really glad that I picked this one up. If you guys are looking for just a good thriller suspense kind of book, this is definitely it. Whodunit vibes, like I said, alternating timelines that kind of match up at the end, which I love that kind of setting in a book, and I seriously could not put it down. 2 books that are new to me that I picked up at Barnes & Noble are 2 Sierra Simone reads. So I picked up American Queen by Sierra Simone, and then also Priest. I have heard such good things about Sierra Simone overall. I've heard that her books are incredibly spicy. I believe they're both romances. I think this one leans more on the side of a darker romance. Self-explanatory, the name of the book, it is about a priest who I believe is falling into a romance, and it's kind of making him go against his religious beliefs, I guess you can say, is what I'm getting. I haven't done too much research, but that's kind of the gist of it. I've heard so many good things. Really excited to read this one, and I think there are 3 books total in this series, so if I like this, I will definitely be picking up the other 2. And then I also picked up American Queen by Sierra Simone, which I've also heard really great things about. I'm not exactly sure what this is about. It is also a series. Let me read you guys the little blurb on Goodreads. So it says, it starts with a stolen kiss under an English sky, and it ends with a walk down the aisle. It starts with the president sending his best friend to woo me on his behalf, and it ends with my heart split in 2. It starts with buried secrets and dangerous desires, and ends with the 3 of us bound together with a hateful love sharper than any barbed wire. My name is Greer Galloway, and I serve at the pleasure of the President of the United States. This is the story of an American queen. I think I'm more excited excited for Priest, and I probably will read this one first out of the two, but you never know. I might really end up loving this, and I think this is also part of a longer series as well that I could always pick up. So we will see. I've never read anything by Sierra Simone before, so let me know how you guys feel about either of these books. Another psychological thriller that I picked up that I am so excited to read is The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. I've heard, again, so many great things about this book, and my aunt actually recently recommended this to me. So when it was in Barnes & Noble, and this, where is it? This right here, buy one, get one 50 sticker always gets me. It's like girl money. Is that what it's called? Girl money, girl spending, whatever they're calling it. If it's buy one, get one 50, the purchase this didn't happen. It is completely justified. It seems like a thriller, suspense, edge of your seat kind of thing that takes place in a cruise ship of some sort. For the longest time, I thought it was an actual like outdoor house cabin, but then I saw the round window and the water on the cover, and I was like, oh, this seems like a boat type of vibe, which is really crazy, and I hope this doesn't scare me from going on cruises in the future. You guys already know one of my favorite books of all time is The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. Overall, Freida McFadden cannot do any wrong in my eyes. I've read a ton of her books on my Kindle, but I picked up The Housemaid just because I loved it so much. It was my first kind of experience into the world of psychological thrillers, and I have not looked back. And I know I got my Kindle to save money and not buy physical copies of books, but I just loved this so much, and I wanted a copy of it for my bookshelf. So if you guys have not read The Housemaid, highly recommend that you do. It is seriously such a good entryway into psychological thrillers. I know I said earlier that I'm not the type of girl that reads a book in a day, but this was a 24-hour, I think less read for me. I think I literally read this book in a daytime, 10 hours. It was just so good. I could not put it down. I was so shocked. You guys have to read this one. If you're taking anything from this video, read The Housemaid, especially if you want to get into thrillers like I mentioned. It is just such a good book. And again, the buy 150 sticker at Barnes & Noble gets me every single time. I did read the second Housemaid. I didn't love it as much though. It was still a really awesome and good read, but I felt like I knew what to expect after reading the first book. The first book, I wish I could read it over again for the first time. It was that amazing, but I just picked up the first one. I didn't feel a need to have the second one at the moment because it was amazing, 4.5 to 5 stars, but this is 10 stars if I could. This book I see literally everywhere. I don't know how I haven't read it yet, but I'm a little nervous to read this one. So this is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I'm probably saying that wrong, but I have heard so many things about this book and a lot of mixed things as well. And I think that's why I'm scared to start this. I'm kind of scared to go into this and be so disappointed after hearing so many good things about it, but then some people absolutely hate this book, but I know I will eventually just have to read it and find out for myself. If you guys have never heard of The Silent Patient, it is about Alicia. Her life is perfect, literally that picture perfect life with her husband, and then one day he comes home from work and she unalives him and then never speaks again. I seriously have goosebumps all over my arms and legs just thinking about that. It sounds extremely interesting. Like I said, I just don't want to be totally disappointed, but I have high hopes for it. I picked up a couple of books by Lucy Score. You guys know I love my girl Lucy. I will start with the first 2 books in the Knock 'Em Out series, Things We Never Got Over and Things We Hide from the Light. I love these books so much, you guys. I just love this series and the characters as a whole. I did read these both on my Kindle and then picked them up in Barnes & Noble one day because they're just so pretty. I knew I had to have a copy of these on my shelf. This book, the first one, Things We Never Got Over, seriously lives rent-free in my head. Whenever somebody asks me for a book recommendation for a good rom-com, I'm like, Things We Never Got Over. You will love the characters. I love the small town setting. I love the grumpy sunshine vibes. It's not just a straight romance the whole entire time. There are other things happening with the female main character and issues with her twin sister. There are just so many great components about this book. I recommend it to absolutely absolutely everyone. They are lengthier books. They are all, I think this is 600 pages or almost 600 pages, but do not let that stop you. This is an amazing read. And if you have Kindle Unlimited, I feel like reading it on there is a little bit less intimidating. And I have a sweatshirt as well that I think you guys have seen with Honky Tonk Bar on it. If you know, you know. The second book in the series, Things That We Hide from the Light, was also a really amazing read. To me, it wasn't as good as book one, but I feel like that is the norm when it comes to series and stories that you fall in love with. But I loved getting a glimpse at just more of the characters following around in this small town, seeing the storyline and the problems, I guess you can say, that started in book one kind of carry over into this book. I feel like I'm rambling, but seriously, if you guys are looking for just like a good small town book, it has the romance, it has a little bit of a crime feel, I guess you can say too. Definitely look into these. They're funny. I laughed, I cried, I was angry. This series so far is just making me feel all of the emotions. And the third one actually came out on September 5th. I haven't started it yet. I want to read it on my Kindle, and then I am going to purchase the physical book as well to have it on my bookshelf. But definitely looking forward to reading the third book, and Lucy just has yet to let me down. Also from Lucy's score, I picked up Maggie Moves On, which I'm really curious to see how I am going to like this. This feels like a true modern day rom-com. I definitely think different vibes than the Knock 'Em Out series. But one thing that really, I guess, grabbed my attention about this book and made me pick it up is because the female main character is a YouTube star. So I just thought that was really interesting. So she's a house flipping sensation and YouTube star named Maggie. And then the male main character is a laid-back landscaper named Silas Wright. I definitely think this is going to be steamy. It says it's fast-paced, fun, and full of Gilmore Girls worthy banter. So yeah, looking forward to reading this one. Recently, for our 25th birthday, my twin brother Nick sent me a big box from Barnes & Noble with a ton of books that I've been wanting to read, which was so sweet. But the first one that he sent me is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I feel like I had not heard anything about this book until really recently around TikTok and on Goodreads. I saw a lot of my Goodreads friends reading this. I was just really intrigued. I heard this is like absolutely everything. I've heard this book is seriously incredible, so I am so excited to read it. It is a contemporary romance, and it says it's a novel of terrible first impressions, hilarious second chances, and the joy of finding your perfect match. This sounds so good. It has a 4.4 on Goodreads, and I just feel like this is going to make me cry. This is totally gonna make me cry. I want to cry right now. My brother Nick also got me 2 books in the Magnolia Park series by Jessa Hastings. I am extremely excited to read these as well. These have really glossy book covers, which is different. I feel like a lot of the book covers that I have are more matte, but these are really pretty and glossy. I have heard, again, I feel like I've said it a million times, absolutely amazing things about this series. And I think the thing that drew me to wanting to read this the most is hearing this compared to kind of Gossip Girl vibes, kind of like socialite, affluent society. If you guys know me, you know I absolutely love Gossip Girl. I'm currently watching it for the 8th time, and it never gets old. So give me a book that's close to Gossip Girl. I am here for it. So excited to read these. I think they are based in England. Give me all of the Gossip Girl vibes. I'm doing a quick skim of the back now, and it does say that the main character seems like a London socialite. Let me know if you guys have read this series. I am so excited to dive into the world of Magnolia Parks. I do have 2 new books from Miss Coho, Miss Colleen herself. I won't lie to you guys, which I feel like I might have mentioned before, Colleen has just not been doing it for me lately 100%. I was on a huge Colleen Hoover hiatus for months and months. I recently just picked up All Your Perfects, and that book was so amazing. I feel like it was the exact inspiration I needed to get back into reading Colleen Hoover. I don't think I picked up a Colleen book in like 6 or 7 months, maybe even 8 months before the one that I just read. But a couple of those books just put me in seriously a huge Colleen slump. Confess was seriously the worst. I'm sorry. I will literally fight anyone on that. I hated Confess. So I picked up her book, which is a collaboration with Tarryn Fisher, which is called Never Never. I think this is a YA novel, but I've heard really good things, and I've also never read anything by Tarryn Fisher. So this says Charlize Winwood and Silas Nash have been best friends since they could walk. They've been in love since the age of 14, but as of this morning, they are complete strangers. Their first kiss, their first fight, and the moment they fell in love, every memory has vanished. Now, Charlie and Silas must work together to uncover the truth about what happened to them and why. But the more they learn about the couple they used to be, the more they question why they were ever together to begin with. Forgetting is terrifying, but remembering might be worse. Sounds very different. Also for my birthday, my brother got me Too Late by Colleen Hoover, which I think this has been around for a little while, but she just released what she's calling the definitive edition. So I think it's kind of a book that's been around and she's been adding to it. So this is the final version, and she considers this a psychological suspense novel of obsession and dangerous love. I just want something that makes me feel like Verity makes me feel. I don't know that she will ever top it. If you guys have any books that are kind of similar to that, definitely let me know. Things You Save in a Fire by Katherine Center. I recently read The Bodyguard by Katherine Center, which I also would have included in this haul, but I lent it to one of my coworkers to read because it was just such a good book. That was another just like hands down, easily 5-star read for me, one of my favorite books of the year. I didn't think I would like it as much as I did because it is a true rom-com, but it was so good. There was just something about the way that Katherine Center writes that pulls me in. I did not want to put the book down. It was amazing. That 100% made me want to read more by Katherine Center. I'm really looking forward to reading this one, and one of my friends said that this was really incredible as well. I picked up 2 books by Mia Sheridan. I picked up Travis, which is the sequel to Archer's Voice. If you know, you know. Archer's Voice is an absolute must read. It made me cry my eyes out and I felt all of the emotions. No book has made me as emotional as Archer's Voice, you guys. It is an absolute must read. I'll leave it at that. Stop watching this video and go read Archer's Voice, okay? So this is part of that same series. This is called Travis, who is a character that we will meet in book 1. I don't want to spoil too much for book 1, but all in all, you guys just have to know I am so excited to read this, find more about this character, and kind of see the character development here. And I'm really curious to see how they're going to take his story, because if you read Archer's Voice, you will know, you'll just know. You'll just know. I do want to say though, after I purchased this, I realized that this is on Kindle Unlimited. Usually when I'm in a bookstore, I'm always cross-checking to see that books are not on Kindle Unlimited before I make the purchase. Because I've mentioned I'll only buy a physical copy of a book on Kindle Unlimited if I truly, truly love it and I want to own a copy, but this is on Kindle Unlimited now, if you guys have a Kindle and you want to read it. This is called Most of All You, which is a fiction romance, and it says, a broken woman, a man in need of help. Only love can mend a shattered heart. Just by that, I have a feeling this is also going to make me cry. I feel like Mia Sheridan is just going to be the author whenever I want just like a shattered heart that I'm going to read. So I know this is gonna be good. This one I picked up on a whim at Barnes & Noble. I feel like when I'm in a bookstore, I'm usually on a mission. I know the books that I want. I know the popular BookTok books, and I usually go to those like popular tables that are in the middle of the store. But this one I was actually digging through the shelf and I picked it up because this seems like a baseball romance. When I saw this, I immediately grabbed it. You guys know I'm a baseball fan over here. So this is called The Proposal by Jasmine Guillory. I'm probably saying that wrong. Another contemporary romance. This is also part of Reese's book club, which those books are usually always pretty good. I know this is part of a bigger series, and I believe this is book 2, which I didn't know at the time when I did purchase it. So I just want to do more research and make sure that these are standalone novels. Even if it can be read as a standalone, I usually like reading series in order anyway. I'll probably hold on reading this one until I pick up the first one, which I believe is The Wedding Date, but just look how cute this is. I feel like if you guys know of any other baseball romances, definitely let me know, because I feel like I would just like eat it up. I picked up Meet Me by the Lake by Carley Fortune, which I believe also came out this summer. I think I had pre-ordered it actually. It was like late spring, early summer, I want to say, but I really did love Every Summer After by Carley Fortune, which I actually have on my shelf right here. This was a great read for me. So when I saw that she was releasing another book, which is only her second book ever, Every Summer After was her debut novel. So this says, Fern Brookbanks has wasted far too much of her adult life thinking about about Will Baxter. She spent just 24 hours in her early 20s with the aggravatingly attractive and idealistic artist, a chance encounter that spiraled into a day-long adventure in the city. The timing was wrong, but their connection was undeniable. They shared every secret, every dream, and made a pact to meet again 1 year later. Fern showed up, Will didn't. But after reading the back of this, I'm like, am I getting November 9th by Colleen Hoover vibes? But I also think that's only in my head because of what everyone is saying about her first book and Love in Other Words. So definitely gonna go into this just like unbiased. I want to read it for myself and see what it's like because I loved November 9th by Colleen Hoover. I guess we could see I absolutely love the covers that Carly Fortune has come out with. They are some of my favorite book covers that I own, actually. They are just so, so beautiful. 2 more books to show you guys, and then I just have a box set, so we are almost done with this video. But I grabbed a couple of months ago Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey, and then for my birthday, I was recently gifted Unfortunately Yours by my boyfriend's sister. So I think this is meant to be a 2-book series, if I'm not mistaken, kind of how the Ballinger Sisters series is. It Happened One Summer and Hook, Line, and Sinker, which, by the way, are still some of my favorite books of all time. So I'm really excited to read these. When I'm looking for just like a pure laugh out loud filled with banter kind of rom-com, I always go to Tessa Bailey. Her books have seriously made me just like laugh so hard I'm out of breath. I love how she writes. I love the banter between the characters, some serious spice found within these Tessa Bailey books. Very, very contemporary and funny. The only thing that takes some adjusting to Tessa Bailey books is that she writes in 3rd person. I think that's the same with both of these books also. At least the Ballinger Sisters series was 3rd person, and it definitely takes some adjusting to. This one here, Secretly Yours, is, I think it's Grumpy Sunshine. I'm not exactly sure. So it's about a starchy professor and the bubbly neighbor he clashes with at every turn. And I believe she's like a gardener or a florist or something like that. And then Unfortunately Yours is a marriage of convenience, which I do really enjoy that trope as well. And I'm realizing now that the male main character in this book and the female main character in this book have the same last name. So I'm wondering if they are the siblings in this case, which would be really, really cool. You guys know the world of fantasy is something that I have yet to explore. I do really want to. I'm a little bit nervous and a little bit hesitant. I hope I like it, but I've heard so many great things about this book series. I'm sure you guys can already guess what it is, and it is the A Court of Thorns and Roses or the ACOTAR books. I'm nervous to start this, but I feel like once I enter this world, I am just never going to leave. So I will keep you guys posted. This has all 5 of the books: A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, A Court of Frost and Starlight, and A Court of Silver Flames. Just know that I have these and I will read them one day. And thank you so much to my brother's girlfriend for getting me these. I'm really excited to dive into this fantasy world one day. All right, you guys, so that is going to complete this video and this massive book haul. I think I just hauled, I think it was just about 30 books or a little bit under 30 books, but it's safe to say that I have filled my bookshelf to maximum capacity and I have a ton of reading to do, not to mention all the books on my Kindle Unlimited library, but I think I am pretty set when it comes to books. Am I gonna buy more? Yes. So don't judge me. I really hope that you guys enjoyed seeing this video and spending time with me today. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up so I know, and it really helps me out. If you guys are interested in any of these books or any of my favorite reading and book accessories, definitely make sure to check out my books and reading list on my Amazon storefront. I have everything linked there for easy shopping and easy finding. Also, make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel before you leave. I would love to have you guys here as part of my little YouTube fam. If you don't want to miss out on any of my future videos, click that notification bell down below and you'll get notified every single time that I upload a new video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and of course, I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.